Alright, so there isn't really much to make content about right now. So I actually went ahead and decided to make this video. As you do see here on the screen, I've hit the 365 day mark on my account. And so I just kind of wanted to make a video going over my account, going over the characters, saying what I did and did not regret getting. Since there are stuff that I'm very much happy that I did go ahead and get, and there are some stuff that I'm pretty regretful that I built or even went for. And so I thought it'd just be a little nice fun video to make. While we do indeed wait for BOOTHILL, because I do have videos coming up for BOOTHILL when he is released. But obviously I have to wait till he releases for that. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Before I get to the video, drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. Make sure to join the Discord, the link is in the description below. You can join in there, you can see me being all sorts of toxic because I love being toxic. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Alright, starting it off, I just have Misha on a team so we can just go by the order the game kind of gives me. Obviously, Misha, whatever, so yeah. So let's start off with Robin. So with Robin, I already have pretty recent videos on her. I originally thought that I honestly was pretty expecting to skip her, but I ended up deciding against that because I was like, oh, she is a follow-up character, so I went ahead and did get her. And so as you do see, I have her stuff maxed here, I have her signature Lightcone. I didn't go for any dupes. I was tempted to go for the E1, but considering BOOTHILL is coming and what's coming up after that, there are some more reruns that I do want to sub it on. And so that reason exactly, I didn't actually go for the E1. I would love to because she's on the FOB team, and so with Robin, I have no regrets going for what I did because with the Lightcone giving more stats, the energy regeneration rate, on the FOB team, she is perfect. She is just a really fun unit to use. I do have the 2-piece build with Ageless. Did manage to get to 120 speed without having speed boots, so that's also really nice. And so with her, I'm very happy. So with Clara, she's a standard character, so I can't really say I regret anything or not. But I do have her at E2 now. Both times I pulled the dupes, I was pretty depressed because obviously no one loves losing their 50-50. The only character I'd really be happy to would be Welt. Now I guess Clara because again, I sort of want to use her more and her E4 is pretty fire and her E6 is fire as hell. But I don't have anything crazy on her because none of my characters are really that crazy built. So just sort of run this attack. I have a signature Lightcone. I do swap this with the Aeon Lightcone. Again, E2, I just have 4-piece physical with Inner Sasato. Pieces, kind of rough because I don't like doing the physical set because that cavern is pretty mid. But Clara, every time I do get the chance to use her, she is really fun and she is just really good. Probably one of the most underrated DPS units in the game because she is so good. So if I had a really good build on her, this would be fire. Topaz! Alright, let's start this off by saying I don't regret anything about getting Topaz in her E1. So I have her E1 because this is just so good for follow-up teams. And with the Lightcone just giving crit rate, follow-up damage increase so she can actually do damage, making tame stats increase crit damage dealt. So it just all plays well together. And again, as I mentioned multiple times in videos, the follow-up team is my favorite team. Nothing comes close. So she was kind of a must-have on the team. Sadly, her traces are a little lower here because 4, 7, 7, 10. I got this to 10 because it's the main one. But then these, I did have Robin to get up and then I have other characters I had to pre-farm for BOOTHILL, all that kind of stuff. So sadly, I wasn't able to get her trace really high. I wanted to max it, but eventually, and again, E1, I do not regret getting any of these. I don't at all. I'm probably not going to ever regret it because it seems Topaz is just so good to replace in follow-up teams. And even with the upcoming follow-up tech characters, she works really good. Ruan Mei. Okay, so Ruan Mei is an interesting one. As you do see, I have a pretty good build on her. I do have a signature Lightcone. I do have the break effect that you want. I don't have any dupes, but I do have the hacker space set with Aegis. I wish I can get Broken Keel, but I didn't have any pieces. My ornaments on most characters are kind of rough. But the reason I have hacker space is because I was actually able to hit that break effect with only the break effect rope. Or not even the break effect rope, sorry, energy regeneration rate. And I was just able to hit it with these stuff. And these two have a good amount of break effect, as you can tell. So I did read that this was the best set to run. And I personally agree if you are able to hit the 180% break effect, and I was able to get above that. So that's why I did go ahead and do this for the Relics. And the reason I say she's kind of weird is because I don't want to say I regret pulling her, but ever since I got her, I really didn't use her that much at all. Because I never really had a reason to. She is good on literally every single team, but for the most part I had other characters like Bronya, and then Sparkle came out literally the update right after. So I just really didn't have a reason to use her too much. Until I did get the follow-up team while I was waiting for Robin, that's sort of when I got to use her. But now, with BOOTHILL coming, she's going to be the best partner. So I'm going to have a big reason to use her. And as I do have 140% speed, the break effect, all that kind of stuff, she just set up for success. Think her traces, yeah, okay, so 999. Never got to maxing these. Eventually, I will do this as well. But again, I don't regret her, but it's not like a very happy pull because I did get pretty lucky on the banner anyways. Oh yeah, I should also specify, I got Topaz in the rerun, so I'll also specify I got characters on rerun. So yeah, Ronmei got the original banner because she hasn't rerun yet. But yeah, so I don't really regret getting Ronmei. I'm gonna not regret her once BOOTHILL comes out because again, I really haven't had a reason to use it too much. And so she's just sort of been in this awkward situation. But now I'll finally get a chance to use her. Oh ho ho ho. This stupid motherfucker. My god, I like genuinely did not hate Jeopard or like dislike him that much. But holy, I get it. I will not like deny his potential. I will admit that he can be really good. He can be fine for people that don't have shielders or sustains. He works fine. But from a me perspective, I hate this guy. I hate him. And you guys want to know why? This is why. This is exactly why. How? Like, bro, one dupe away from E6. This guy's dupes are kind of, and I like never used them even since I had my account. Never used them at all. And yeah, you can see his traces or whatever because I don't care to use them. This guy just has random stuff I had laying around, just given to him. He has a signature Lightcone, I guess, but anyone else that can use this, I'm just gonna give it to them when I build them. I'm not gonna use them. This could have been a bunch of Welt dupes. This could have been a bunch of Clara dupes. But no, it was him. At least it isn't Bailu. But, oh my god, I hate this guy so much. Anyway, moving off after that, Acheron. So, I guess let's say I do have an E2 Acheron. I wouldn't say I regret getting Acheron, but I do regret going for this E2. It did cost me a bit. And after I got it, I was like, holy, this is crazy. And now I'm kind of in a situation where I don't really like using Acheron at all. The only times I really use her is in the background footage for a video, where I just hit auto anyways. Or in Simulated Universe and Pure Fiction, because I don't like Pure Fiction. Simulated Universe, I just use it for the sake of time. But if I actually feel like using a character, I don't use her. Once I do get the BOOTHILL team, I'm probably not going to bother using Acheron that much, besides, again, Pure Fiction and Simulated Universe. And yeah, so like, getting the first copy and getting her Lightcone, sure, like she's on the account with this crazy character, so W there. But this E2, as broken as it is, I didn't need it. Like, honestly, even with one Nahodi character and without the E2, and I legit just did not need it. And so I'm very regretful for going for this E2. Again, I don't really regret getting her and her Lightcone that much, but I much regret going for this E2. Because again, it's just something I went for because I'll admit it was a fear of missing out, man. But at least I know for the future. So, Acheron, yeah. Okay, Jingwan. This is also another like fear of missing out scenario. Got him, got his Lightcone, just kind of whatever, but I don't really use them. As you see, this stuff is not maxed. E0. His Lightcone's nice. If I ever get a chance to use this on someone else, it's their edition. That's gonna be nice. But for him himself, I barely ever had the reason to use him. Not really a fan of Jingwan. Do I regret this? Kind of. But maybe there's a time where I will use them, so I don't know. Alright, moving on to Kafka. I'm gonna also group this with Black Swan, just the dog characters. Holy, okay, so they had better builds and such, but I did like move some stuff around. But I much regret actually going for either of these. Because originally I was like, okay, Dot very like whatever, so I got Kafka to rerun because I'm like, oh, I don't want to, again, I'll admit fear of missing out. I wanted to try the Dot team. I saw how cool or like good it was being. Once I did get Black Swan, I'm like, okay, this team is pretty crazy. But the more I used it, the more I got bored of it, and now I just don't enjoy it, as I do have both the Lightcones. I guess less Black Swan because you can kind of use her outside of Dot teams. Same with Kafka, but less so. She has like the Dot enabler. But again, I just got bored of the Dot playstyle. I don't really have a reason to use Black Swan on any other team except maybe when I do use an Acheron something. And yeah, so I do kind of regret both of them. I also do have an E1 on Black Swan. And I will say, the reason I have an E1 on Black Swan is because of Gunaifen. I kept going in on the banner because I want to get Gunaifen. Couldn't pull her, lost a bunch of money, ended up getting her E1. And then I didn't expect to get how many dupes I have in Sparkle, which we'll get to when she's up. But if I could, I'd much rather have went for Donning instead of her at all. Because these two dupes could have been an E2 Donning. The Lightcone could have been an S1 on Donning. But instead I went for her because, again, I can get why people like Dot, but me personally, it's just not for me. So, with these two, it is pretty regretful. Now my boy Blade. So this guy was probably one of my favorite characters to use for a while. Still is up there. And with what we do know about Jade, they're so good together. I'm so happy my boy is back. The build I have on him isn't that crazy. He is sort of low crit damage, has nice crit rate though. Could get some better pieces, but for now, she's gonna work with. He is E0, has his Lightcone. So overall, Blade, definitely do not regret getting. Got it on the original banner. Oh, yeah, and Jigwan also got on the original banner. But yeah, Blade, I am just, like, he is just like one of my favorite characters in Star Wars right now. Probably has my favorite design, and just that alone would be enough for me to get him. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with using him. Every time I get the chance to use him, it's really nice. Sadly, haven't much recently, but if I can get his build better, and now with Jade, I'm definitely gonna use him. Alright, Bronya, okay. So at the start of the game, Bronya was my favorite, not my favorite character, but one of my favorite characters, I should say. And so she's always like been up there for me because I am a Honkai third player, so, or EX Honkai third player. So Bronya was always like, oh damn, Bronya, W. But yeah, so usage wise, it's nothing like anything crazy because again, I don't have this stuff next. I don't have much on these because again, I don't really use her too much despite liking her a lot. Now with BOOTHILL, if she is better to be used with BOOTHILL rather than Sparkle, then I guess I'll have more of a reason. I'll probably finish this up if that's the case. To be fair, these are like the only two ones better. I know her basic attack can do damage, but like I really don't care about these two. Mine is also E2 now because I pulled her by losing 50-50 early on one of Acheron's banner, I think it was Acheron's banner. And then I got her immediately on the standard banner, so she went from E0 for a while just straight to E2, and I'm like, damn, that could have been 2 welts. But now we're E2 and these 2 dice, it's nice to play 50-50, but this is not 50%. This is 50% in Dokkan numbers, aka actually like 5% at most, bro. If it ain't 100 in Dokkan, bro, it might as well not be there. So this is just kind of whatever, but yeah, I don't really use her too much anymore. Can't really say against standard character, don't really regret it, but yeah. That's Sparkle. So Sparkle is the reason I don't use Bronya anymore. We do see I'm still sort of working towards the 160 build because I haven't had a chance to do the relics that she has for a little while. I do have the 2-piece Aegis with the 4-piece Hackerspace. With this, I don't think she gets to 160 speed for the last time I checked. I might be wrong, but I can't remember. I think I just need a little more speed. She could also use more crit damage, but it's like literally 12% off, so I don't really care. But the thing is like originally I lost 50-50 something on her banner to Clara, but then stuff happened, got a dupe early, and I went for the E2 and won 50-50. So getting Sparkle E2, I'm like being 100% honest when I say this, is probably my second best decision I decided to do in Sorrow. Sparkle just makes any unit, no matter how bad on my account that does want to crit, just good. My Danheng, when we get to it, is super free to play, and she makes him look not free to play. This unit is so, again, she is my favorite Harmony support, no one comes close. And so she has just done such a service to my account, and I am so glad I decided to get her Lightcone, and then I'm so glad that E1 early decided to make me go for the E2, because this ignoring defense is so godlike. Combine that with this, with having more attack percent, it's just so good. So Sparkle, again, one of the best, if not, I won't say the second best because there's one obvious one, but definitely the second best option, or I guess decision I have made on my account. Alright, next up, Fushwan. So Fushwan was a character I was super hyped for. She was one of my favorite characters at the time, but I did get pretty unlucky on her banner. I lost 50-50 to, you guessed it, Jepper. But on the Lightcone, I did end up getting it. Thankfully, didn't lose a 75 back then. But overall, ever since I got her, no regrets at all because she has just been so good. As we do know, she is the practically tied for best sustain in the game. And her trace is maxed, obviously. I do actually have her at E1. I did try going for the E2 because I got the E1 around 40 pity in after getting it originally. And then the E2 I went for. I did end up copying a pack, but I lost 50-50 to my first Clara at the time, so I wasn't so mad. Now with her rerunning, I was thinking of getting it, but I don't really care too much anymore. So I'm probably not going to bother anymore. I don't really use it too much. I do have the Penaconies on her. I usually have to switch around these sets because I do not have a bunch of ornaments for my supports just to share around all of them, so I usually have to swap them around. Sometimes I try to forget to switch this when I'm running them with someone else. So hopefully I can get some more ornaments to get that out of the way. But again, first one with this build, just and no regrets. She's just been so nice. The crit rate, the crit damage from the E1, definitely W that I got to see one is so good. Again, the crit rate, this Lightcone, very good. Max HP, energy regen, gives everyone damage, and also at the start of every wave gives them HP. So again, do not regret at all. Original banner, as I should say, because she's about to rerun, so anyone seeing this after the rerun comes out, again, this was on the original one. Alright, Zele, original banner. Zele, at the time, was my favorite character. She was also my best girl for the longest time because I absolutely loved Zele in Honkai Pack 3rd. She was my favorite character. Her and Veliona, absolutely love them. Still do. She is still one of my favorite characters to use. I do have her Lightcone. I do have her at E2. This E2 is so stupid. And I'm so glad she can still keep up with her resurgence. Her resurgence is so good, whichever one it is. I forgot if it's actually in the kit or not. I guess it's her talent. Yeah, okay, right. It's been a while since I looked at actually what she does exactly, but resurgence is making her so good. Everything she does is just so fire. Wish I can get more on the crit damage side, and also definitely more crit rate, because this is annoying. On Mono Quantum, it isn't so bad because you do have Fushform providing crit rate, and Sparkle Cyclone provides some crit rate, so it's more manageable there. But outside of that, if I'm not using one or the other, that is sort of And then again, I wish I just had more crit damage, because Azalea kind of feels like it's just kind of lackluster, but not enough to where I'm like actively going out of my way to not use her, because I actively go out my way to use her, because again, I really like using her, and she's still one of my favorite characters, so definitely do not regret. Silver Wolf, original manner, I didn't bother going for a Lightcone because we had this one anyways, so I just went for this because it was really good. I don't really regret getting her either. Don't have anything crazy on her because I didn't really care. She's also E0, but yeah, I have the 4-piece Quantum, 2-piece Ageless. She has a very odd build. I never really went ahead and fixed it because I don't really use Silver Wolf outside of either an Acheron team or the Mono Quantum team because I just don't have a reason to. But I definitely don't regret picking her up because on the Mono Quantum team, she's done really good. On the Acheron team, she's been really good. So I don't regret that either. Alright, so I can't really regret this because Dr. Ratio's free, but he is also one of my favorite characters now, so I did get his Lightcone. Absolute fire unit. This guy's so fun to use. Do not regret getting this Lightcone at all. I do not have any dupes on him. Originally, I did want to get his E2 on the rerun, but I've been having sort of second decisions now. We'll see if I do. I probably won't, but we'll do that. I didn't bother with the basic attack because, you know, who cares? Got these max. Yeah, Ratio's one of my favorite units to use in the game. I didn't really have a reason to use him outside of just wanting to have fun. So he was stuck in a very mediocre build for a while. But once Topaz came, or I guess once Aventurine came out, I did go ahead and start getting him up. I got his stuff max for this. I do finally get the full Pioneer set with 2-piece Sasato. His crit rate is pretty low. Crit damage is fine. Speed is sadly a bit low. But oh well. Can't always have perfect builds. Eventually, once I go back to farming the Pioneer Relic set, hopefully I can get better pieces. But for now, he's done really good. Alright. The unit that gets people commenting on practically every video on why my Aventurine does so much damage. So, as I did say, Sparkle was the number 2 most thankful decision that I decided to do, I guess. Aventurine is number 1. Because as you do see, I have this crit damage with this defense. I have the defense you need, and I have a lot of crit damage. Could use some more crit rate, but whatever, I guess. And then I do have over breakpoint speed. Now, why am I making this sound like a big deal? Because if you don't know, you see this Lightcone is S5. And that obviously means he is E6. Yes, I do have an E6 S5 Aventurine for people that do not know. Absolute roller coaster of emotions during that stream pulling for him. And the reason I went for it is because he is my number 1 favorite character in the game. He is in my top 10 favorite characters of all time. And he has, by far, no one comes close my favorite kit in the game. So I'm like, oh damn, a character that can do damage while sustaining your team. Perfect job of sustaining and also dealing pretty solid damage, especially if you do have his Lightcone. And then we saw his dupes. We're like, okay, this one gives everyone crit damage, some more stuff for that, and you get the ult providing a shield, which I don't know why this gets overlooked a lot. That is insane. The fact he's able to do that, now he's more skill point efficient, so it's really nice. This was really good just because all-type res reduction is just really good. Any team you put him on will benefit from that. This E4 is his first damage bonus, giving him 40% defense first for 2 turns, and you get this so often, so you practically always have this up. And you increase the hits per action for the talent ball of attack by 3. So instead of hitting 7 times, it hits 10 times. And then this is just a straight up 150% damage up bonus. This just turns him from hitting with the E4, I guess, because I do have a video from testing him from all the way from E0 all the way up to E6. And with this, he was hitting around, let's say, I think he was able to barely go up to nearly 100k. I think he was like around the 60 to 80k. I can't remember off the top of my head. This skyrocketed him to higher 100ks, up to 200k. And now he's just consistently doing 150k to up to 300k per follow-up attack and ult. Dude is absolutely just insane. He is so fun. He is just my GOAT. Number 1, best decision. I do not regret it at all. Very happy I got to max on my favorite character. And I probably will never regret it. Alright, moving on to Dan Heng. So as you see, very yikes build on him. To be fair, I don't really have that many good relics on him, and I did switch it around recently because I had a whole crisis with my account where I had to switch a bunch of things around. But do I regret getting Daunting on his visual banner? No. Do I regret not pulling for the E2S1 on his rerun? Yes. My god, if I knew I was going to get that with Sparkle, I would have just went for the E2S1. I wouldn't have bothered with Black Swan. I every day am praying that he just comes back soon because I know he literally just left not that long ago. But my god, I regret it so much. I have the free-to-play S5 Lightcone on him. Very, very yikes build. The reason is just because I don't really use him too much right now. He's so fun when I do use him for fun. But I just don't have the build to warrant using him too much. I do have his traces maxed. I do not have any dupes. And as you saw, I didn't have the Lightcone. I just do have 4-piece Musketeers, which this used to be 4-piece Imaginary, but I changed it around. Brutal Limina, all his relics are pretty mid or yikes. Eventually, I do hope to get better pieces for him because he's fun to use. And again, if he does rerun, I'm going for the E2S1 at all costs. Now, talking about Luocha. So Luocha was tied for my favorite character in the game. Now is obviously second or third, whatever you want to consider it, because Aventurine is obviously number 1. So I don't have anything crazy on him. I do have 141 speed, 3.3k attack. He does have the effect res obviously needed for Broken Keel, because he does indeed have Broken Keel. 2-piece Sacrifice, 2-piece of the Alchemy Healing Set. And I do have his Light Cone. Sometimes I forget about this Light Cone. I don't regret going for it though, because it gives you attack percent, regenerating energy, and using the ultimate gives everyone more speed. So every time I do use Luocha, I still really like using him. Every time I need a healer, he is my go-to. I do plan on getting Pull on a rerun, but even then I probably will use Luocha more just because, again, he is one of my favorite characters. If he wasn't in such a stacked update, I definitely would have went for the E1. I still kind of regret not going for it, but again, it was a very, very rough stacked kind of banner, so I couldn't actually warrant having enough to go for it. Oh boy, my goat Welt doesn't have the craziest build anymore because I did again have to shift a bunch of things around. He is currently just rocking the 4-piece Magic set with 2-piece of Base Healing Station. Eventually, once I can finally have a little breather when it comes to new units, I definitely am going to first work on Welt. He does at least have max traces. He is E0. As you guys saw how many dupes I have in every other standard character. This guy has none. He's the only character I wouldn't mind losing 50-50 to. Thankfully, I do have his Lightcone, but that's about it. Nothing crazy, but again, he was one of my favorite characters for the longest time. If you guys did remember me before the Aventurine stuff, I did have him as my PFP. I still really like using him, still one of my favorite units to use. Once I do get a better build, it's going to be really fire. Oh boy, Gwenifin. So, Gwenifin currently is my best girl of Sara. I absolutely love her, as you do see I have 151 speed on her. Sadly, I really don't have reasons to use her because she is great on a dot team. She is great just overall because of what she does, but she is best on a dot team. I don't use dot, as you guys know, so I don't really have reason to use her too much, but again, I still absolutely love Gwenifin. I do not have her traces max because, again, once I started working on it, the updates started pouring in. We're like, okay, so we have her on the Black Swan update. All right, right after Sparkle. All right, right after that is Acheron. Okay, right after that is Aventurine. So I'm just like, oh my god. And I just couldn't get a chance to finish these. Eventually, I do want to go back because again, she's my favorite. And she's E5. So I didn't get her on her original banner because I tried to build pity on, I think it was Topaz's banner, and I could not pull a single one. She finally returned. I go crazy on Black Swan, and at the end of Black Swan's banner, something like 240, 250-ish pulls, I only pulled her twice. She was only E2. The rest I gained from just free-to-play selectors, and that was practically it. I can't remember if there was 2 and I pulled another one, or if there's 3 selectors. I probably would believe if there was 3 selectors, because my chances to pull Gwenifin are negative. She's been stuck at E5 since the last time she was up on a selector, and it has been so painful. I just want to max my girl out. But yeah, she is just rocking the 4-piece dot set, 2-piece on Glamoth. So anytime someone is on the team, which is usually Ruan May or someone to give speed, she just hits that point. And yeah, so she is eventually will be E6, guys. Okay, video's getting a little long, so I'm gonna speed through this. So Lynx was on Fushuan's banner, so I did get her E6 as a result. I did build her because I did indeed have Blade, and she was practically one of the best for Blade because of the taunt, so I did go ahead and max out her traces. Again, E6, I have this on her with the Penacony set because I used it on Mana Quantum for a little while. Haven't really had the chance to change this around. Don't really see me using her too much anymore, but when I can, it's fine. Alright, do I regret going for Gwenifin dupes? Not really, but the banner pained me, so I regret going on Black Swan. Well, I can't regret because I picked him at 300. Only time I got him, so yeah. Tingyun, I can't really talk about Tingyun. I'm gonna skip over because I don't have a build. Yanqing. So Yanqing right now, I usually swap around his relics with who's its face? Acheron when I do want to build him. So at times he does have a really nice build. He does have more crit rate when he needs. I do give him his Lightcone when I'm using him too. I did not have him for the longest time because I kept pulling Jeopard, and I only pulled him around a few weeks ago with the Topaz 50/50 loss. And I was pretty happy about it because I wanted to have him at this entire time. He was the last standard character I didn't have. Very fun unit. I'm still just not mad about losing 50/50 to him. He's so fun. But yeah, so Bailu, don't care. I guess I do regret pulling her because I lost 50/50 every time to her. She's E2. Never gonna build her, never gonna use her. And the rest are unbuilt. I do have Himeko here, E0, but she does have her Lightcone. Not gonna really build her anytime soon because I don't really have a need. And yeah, past that, it's just practically everyone is not built. Eventually, I do want to build Gallagher. Thankfully, I have gotten to test everyone here, and there are some fun characters that I do want to build, whether they be bad or good. So thankfully, I do know how to optimally build all these guys, so eventually if I do a build guide, expect to actually receive correct information for that. But some characters I do want to eventually build is like Su Shang. I definitely want to build my Pela up. I definitely eventually want to build March just because, you know, funny. Wind Dawning is definitely next up when I can, and Gallagher definitely wants to be built up as well. Yeah, so that is practically the account a year in. I don't know why I went to Misha. I should probably go to Aventurine because it's the most fitting. That goal. Anyway, so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it's very long, but I guess it's pretty fun to talk about my account sometimes. And yeah, hope you guys liked the video. Let me know on some of your own regrets, I guess, on your own account. And yeah, peace out.